G'day guys, welcome back to another video. It's Enno here from Fantasy Take TV. Today we'll be going over my round 12 review. Thought it was going to be a pretty dead round of footy after that Friday night game, but it turned out to be not too bad. Saturday night wasn't too bad, and then the Sunday games were both pretty exciting. A couple of close finishes. Tigers managed to get over the line in a close one, first time in forever, so was happy to see that for once. And then, yeah, SuperCoach turned out not too bad as well. Obviously, first of the bye rounds, trying to get through those. You know, Sicily getting suspended. We all would have had Seamus Mitchell, most likely. Everyone having him with a laid out. So, few people would have been stretched, you know, just trying to field 18. I did end up with 19 in the end, so was able to drop off I think Eddie Ford's score. Yeah, just refresh there. I've actually got 10 trades left. So yeah, just moved into just outside the top 1K. So happy with that. Hopefully we can push in towards it over the rest of the buys and then finish off strongly for the end of the year. Also beat Bex in a close draft match. So as always, sucked in. How the team went though, we'll get to just a few of the players and then probably majorly talk just a bit of strategy for the rest of the buys, what I'm thinking, and then how we'll go look going forward. So quickly through the play, Stewart was really good. Kicked his first goal in I think about 4 or 5 years, I think I heard someone say. So, you know, you almost feel like he should go bigger than he usually does, but a 127 is great. Dacos, we had the VC on. He kicked, 3 goals, had 30. Again, maybe, you know, feel like he could have gone bigger, but a couple of his goals were late when the game was sort of already over as well. But we just took his VC score. You know, I think I had the C on Bont or Laird, who could have gone, but yeah, obviously ended up on the right side of that. Dawson was pretty good as well. He just hasn't been going massive as he did for that sort of month there. About a month ago, I guess. So, you know, obviously playing a bit more inside mid, he's kicking and whatnot. Disposal efficiency isn't quite up to what it was because those few games there was out of this world. But, yeah, still going to be a top 3 defender for the rest of the year. Will Day has, looked largely been frustrating pretty much since bringing him in. You know, I think we brought him in at about that same price that he is now. You know, he's had a decent role, still playing, you know, mostly midfield, has got a bit of attention, you know, sort of a clear, you know, damaging play. He's more of an outside player, so look, I don't know, there's Newcomb and Warple are actually not going too bad, Nash themselves, but I guess they're the sort of inside balls and teams want to target Day, who's sort of run and carry on the outside, can hurt, but I don't know why people are tagging Hawks players too much. You think you should beat them most weeks, but yeah, I guess they won a couple on the trot, and Port just wanted to continue that, so I think they sent Will Drew to him, and then in the second half he sort of played a bit of half back and actually scored okay there, but yeah, game was pretty much dead, so mustered an 80, but I think we're going to have to hold him. The role's okay, or he's good enough. Whether or not he can turn his scoring around, we'll kind of have to wait and see. And Weddle was massive, had a really good second half, and bounced back after a pretty poor first half, although he was getting, you know, absolutely bombarded with Port inside 50s and playing tall. You know, I think he was caught on Finlayson and stuff a bit, and yeah, look, was playing well above his height and probably what he needs to. You know, they're missing Sicily, so it's whatever. Probably good for his development, to be honest. And then, yeah, as I said, Sicily and suspended, and Sinclair was on bye. Bont copped a bit of a knee knock, I think, so, you know, powered through it, got back out there for the last quarter and wasn't too bad, but obviously probably hampered him a bit. I think he started pretty well, and then, yeah, you know, still been the number 1 mid pretty much, so hasn't quite gone nuclear. I know I missed his 180 as a captain a month or so ago, and unfortunately, yeah, he just hasn't really gone too big since, but I haven't really had the captaincy near him, so I know a few people might have captained him or roll the dice after Dacos or whatever, or what have you. So, yeah, Bont's fine. Taranto, Timmy T, been unbelievable, really, like superb once again. A few more clangers this game than he's had recently, so obviously that capped him a bit, but, you know, averaging 117 for the year, like, just, yeah, been really, really good. Clear number 1 forward, really, him and Dunk, so we'll see who ends the year number 1 at the end of the year. Laird, so yeah, look, been fine. Scored, I think, 115 last week, 112 this week. But considering I didn't get merit at the same time, it has cost me a few points along the way. Just sort of the ordering of the premiums I've brought in, with Stewart first, then for his 90, and then I've missed basically Lerrett's 160, his 160, and then his 137 on yesterday, which could have been a lot bigger too. Got a bit lucky that he sort of got some attention after quarter time. Just cost me a few points there. Like I might have lost 100 points or so just on the timing of that. So Laird probably looks like he's ready for the bye. Like he's probably obviously been battling something. His calf's sort of taped up at the moment. They get West Coast this week, which should be pretty cruisy. Hopefully, he doesn't get injured, just cruises to a nice 120 and then has the bye and comes back out after that, refreshed and good for the second half of the year. And then I've Merritt's pretty expensive now, going to be, even more expensive after the game he plays this week. And do I bring him in for over 600k post-bye? Probably not. Like he's probably going to see a lot of attention on the back, the back end. So, happy to have Laird, but could use the bye coming up. Tom Green, I understand people frustrated with him, for most of the year. He just, for whatever reason, scores more in fantasy than SuperCoach, and he's a contested bull, so it doesn't make much sense, but he is butchering it quite a bit. A lot of just unnecessary, like, handball clangers and stuff like that really, he shouldn't be doing, but he's not going anywhere. Hold him for the rest of the year. His role's amazing, and he's still honestly playing quite well. Just, needs to clean up his disposal a little bit. Sammy Walsh is the probably most disappointing one of the week. It's been pretty good for me since coming in. I think averaging about 110, and then just pulls out this really poor game by his standards anyway. I think he's had 25 plus disposals, I think I saw, for about 2 years, maybe 3 years almost. I think it was about 60 odd games or something, and then he has 22 this game and just didn't really do much else either. So like a lot of bad clangers, got caught holding the ball a couple of times. Carlton is really hard to watch and bad to watch at the minute, and I guess his game there probably reflected that. Like they just were so poor. Didn't get the forward status, and funnily enough, he actually played a bit more forward this game. So that was a bit annoying. He's just going to basically be my M8, M7, M8 with him and Green for the rest of the year, and that's the way it is. Hopefully, I just want him to play out the year. He'll average 100, 105 at absolute worst, really. So as long as he stays fit and healthy, that's all I really ask of him. Atkins we have to hold because of Seamus being out, so I just opted to trade Seamus instead because he was probably going for me anyway this week. So kept Atkins, and hey, it worked out all right. He got the 72, got the same as Walsh actually, and basically just wasn't, was able to score enough to kick off a poor score like a forward, right? So helped me in that sense this week, which was good. So still been, a bad trade in and not someone I'm going to keep post the buy, so it hasn't really worked out in that sense anyway, but at least he was able to give me 70 points this week. And then Chincotta coming back into the side, getting 60 points was nice, but I don't expect him to honestly get too many scores, 60 plus from here, playing a bit of a lockdown role in defence. So he's one that could be moved on for me this week, depending how many players I get and what I see going forward. But he was all right. Rowson didn't play, and then we've sort of got the bye guys on the bench, Brayshaw and Johnson, and obviously Matty Roberts won't come back. Tim English was really good. So obviously the key captaincy option that you would have wanted to hit last week. I did look at his way, like Segler and Blitzarv's obviously backing up in there, and he's just, Blitzarv's having to sort of man Bont and can't chase English around as well when he's in the ruck. So they're just really depleted in there in the midfield at Geelong, and I can see why a lot of people went Bont's way, but English was obviously the one in the end, just dominant, 30 touches, I think, almost as a ruckman. A lot of marks, a lot of tackles too. I think he had 8 tackles or something. So we know he has these games in him. Was only around the corner really when he was going to go a big 150 again, like he was at the start of the year, but just wasn't able to capitalise and get the captaincy on him, which is unfortunate. But I think he's got Port this week, and is a lot of people will be looking his way for the VC. What trades we did, I didn't actually mention off the top, was getting Seamus out to where did we go in the end? Eddie Ford, so kind of a downgrade, and then I got Briggs in as well. So I sort of did Sam Simpson out to Briggs, sort of basically a sideways move there. But Briggs was obviously going to give me a score this week, and then be on my bench for the next couple. But I knew his cash, he's gone superb whenever he's played full time solo ruck. So at sort of 250, it was kind of hard to pass up, even knowing that he's only going to be on my field the week just gone. And he scored 128, kicked a couple of goals, was really, really good. So yeah, obviously happy I got him in. He got me the score this week, which was nice. And then he's going to make a boatload of cash. So yeah, happy with the decision of getting him in. And then we'll just obviously probably play Rowan this week and sit Briggs at R3, which will be weird, but I think he's got Goldie, so probably the way I would go in the end. And then the forward line, Rosie, pretty good. Weird game. Port just dominant early, and was just sort of not many points up for offer. I know Finlayson was cooking early. Toddy Marshall. So yeah, a bit strange, but still played pretty well. Sheasel's an interesting one. I'm not a Zeeble owner, but a lot of talk about the North boys, which there will be on the all of this week, and I'm sure something we'll discuss on the pod. But Shees did start defence, which I was really happy to see. Scored well quite early, then sort of just went not missing, but couldn't get his hands on the footy for a large part of the middle of the game. Aaron Hall playing doesn't help. But if he's playing that defensive role, I'd still be pretty happy to keep him. But then they did throw him into the mid sort of in the last quarter mostly, and he was really good in there too. Scored basically half his points in the first quarter or so playing defence, and then half his points playing sort of around the ball in the middle in the last quarter. So it was pretty missing for most of the middle part of the game, but he's still so talented. I can still see him being, or us being able to keep him for the year. I think if you're really, really strapped on trades, he'd be the one I'd keep out of him and Zeeble. And if you have the trades, obviously you'd probably like to move them both on. But I have faith in Shees, to be honest. He's an incredible player, and I think if he just keeps playing, and I honestly don't really obviously defense is probably better and bit better of a floor for scoring, but he can do some very, very good things in the middle as well. It's just obviously harder if they're sort of losing some games, but they've been in the last couple they've played, even against Collingwood the week before, they were quite competitive for at least a half. So yeah, for now I'm holding Shees till he's bye. I can understand people wanting to move him on, but I think most people probably have both of them. So if you were deciding this week, for me anyway, probably be Zeeble, just because the threat of him losing so much money and then being a dead pick anyway is probably too much. But he is the one that could maybe sort of turn it around, just because he just has that role. And, Aaron Hall probably should be out of the side at some point soon, but who knows. And then DC was the other trade-in that I brought in this week. So kept quite a bit of cash in the bank doing so, and that'll point me towards the trades I'll be doing for this week as a reason. And I sort of just wanted DC is that cheap F6, can cover the rucks when needed. And I had him last year for the run home, and he's quite good as well. So as long as he keeps the big splitter ruck time up, it'd be nice. I mean, he scored about 90% of his points in 2 quarters in the second and last quarter. So if he could put a 4-quarter effort together, then he could, his ceiling's a bit higher than this. But obviously he had a decent matchup as well. And this week gets Gordon and Grundy, so it won't be as easy. Then Humph, just amazing kid, incredible player. I brought him in at his 210 price after his first good score, so really happy with that decision. Obviously, in the end, should get to about 400k plus, and then I'll probably just keep him. Depends whether I keep him for 1 or 2 games post buy. So most likely keep him for around 15. I would have a guess at that. Considering I need all the players I can get in that buy, and then probably move him on after that. So. I know there's a bit of talk of people wanting to keep him over Sheasel and Zeeble and Day and all that sort of stuff, but look, he is a rookie. He has kicked a few late goals in games that have really helped him, and I don't envisage that happening every bloody week. So, whilst he's been great, I do expect not the wheels to fall off, but scores to regress a little bit at some point. But yeah, very happy with him and the cash he's going to make me. And then Eddie Ford as well. I think he went up 70k, but might not make as much as we hope to with. Look, he's playing for North, and whilst his role's not too bad, high up forward and whatnot, sometimes the ball just doesn't find you as much. So, look, there's a chance this week against the Giants at Blundstone. They play pretty up and down football, fast moving, like the game against the Tigers. So North have been attacking the ball late as well. And there's maybe a chance for him to get a decent score next week. So we'll see what happens. And then obviously, just Madden and Dunks and Gooden on bye. So if we set the team up for this week, we'll obviously get Sinclair on, Stewart on, Sis on, Brayshaw, Johnson on for Atkins as well. And then unfortunately, you have to make a decision and get one of these two on if you like me. And it's probably going to have to be Rowan, you think, against Sydney. And then Briggs sort of getting the Goldie matchup. But hey, I wouldn't begrudge people wanting to play Briggs over Rowan. He's been in really good form. So we'll see what happens there. Dunks and Goulden on as well. So kept the 180k in the bank. I mean, my big target and the guy I've wanted is Sarong off his bye into a Tigers matchup at home this week. I think is really, really nice. So Atkins is the one that I'll get rid of. Now the cash I need to get this done. And look, there's other guys can get off bye, but I really only need a midfielder. Defense is kind of full. Well, it is. And then there's no real forwards from the teams that just had the bye. Sydney, St Kilda, Freo, and Brisbane. There's no real forward options. So, defense is full. It's pretty much a midfielder. So it's Neil, it's Sarong. I've already got Brayshaw. It's Jack Steele, not really interested. Or, someone like a Chad Warren or something. So it's really just those two guys. And basically for me, Sarong or Neil. Now, Neil's obviously a little bit cheaper. So I'd only need about a 76k downgrade here to get it done. So that could be, it could even be someone like a Chincotta, who's, I think, break-even's about 40-odd, and to be honest, he might not even hit that, and doesn't even give me a player in round 15 either, so whilst he's a body that might help in round 14, he's not really going to give me much in round 15. I don't see him making a hell of a lot of money in the next 2 weeks anyway. So we could do that, and then we just got to bring in a rookie this week. God, it's frustrating seeing Will Phillips at 350. So guys that are an option, Malik, and I'm just out of range there in defence, and then in the forward line, there's just a couple of maybe picks like Harvey Harrison, the Pies kid that got a debut, but how long does he hold? And then there's a couple others that I think played just the one game. Actually, Phoenix Spice has played a few, but he's 149k, just scored a 58. You could possibly go there, but I probably wouldn't. So the question is, could I get someone just like a debutant, like possibly Jackson Binns? I know you can't see it quite there, but he's been playing really well in the VFL. He might get a gig at some point, or kind of simply has to at some point, you would think. And that could be this week. And would I just go him first up? But again, he kind of doesn't give me a body in round 15 either, which is frustrating. Or is it someone else? Or so that's with Neil, by the way. Like I can only barely afford that. If I wanted Sarong, who is probably who I do want, then it's just a 125k. So yeah, is it someone like just the Pies kid or a debutant? Who knows? So can do something like that. Probably don't really envisage Harrison to be in the team for too much longer. They've got a couple of injuries, and when those guys come back, you'll probably make way. But who knows? Any Pies fans, let me know. There's guys like Fahey, maybe he was sub, but there are guys to come back for GWS as well. Josh Sin, but Port's pretty hard team to crack into. I expect he probably, at best, he'll be the sub really, unless there's some injuries. So it gets a little bit tough. Or I trade Weddle, which probably everyone watching this will say it's probably too early because his break even's 38. He's just gone really well. Had a really good few weeks. if he scores a 77, then he has the bye. He only gets up about 20k, and then am I holding him? Like he will help in round 15, no doubt, and he could push towards 360, 370k. Or do I just use him because then it is easier to get the trades done, and I actually can attack someone like a Malikan, who is a defender for Sydney. Does get the Saints this week, which is a great matchup as well. So that might be something to look at. But he's only played one game, and there's guys like Rampy to come back. They just got I think it's Harry Arnold in the mid-season draft. Would he push him out straight away? Probably not, but who knows? And then you've only seen him with the one game, so you're getting him a bit early before he's on the bubble. And then obviously, as I said, trading Weddle out early, which people might not agree with. So something I'll decide obviously when the teams drop, but the gist of it is I'm getting rid of Atkins and I'm probably getting into Sarong, and then it's just what's the downgrade? Is it Weddle? As I said, is it Chincotta? Because I only need 109k to get it down. So don't really have anyone else that's logical of trading out. MJ's going to make some money and be really handy over the buys. So it really is down to Chincotta or Weddle for me as to who can go, and just got to make that decision really. For now, I think what I'm leaning towards is the Weddle out, Malikan in route. So I'm look, not gaining any play. Like I'm looking really ahead to round 15. I'm going to be fine next week. Round 14, I'll be fine. I think I'll have 18, possibly 19. It's sort of round 15 where at the moment I think I have 16. And doing two trades like this, these are two players that are playing in round 15 to two players that obviously will be playing round 15 as well, provided Malikan holds, obviously, of course. So I'm not really gaining anything there. I'm still going to be at 16, I think it is, for round 15, if we take a quick look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, provided Malikan plays, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'd have to make two more trades. And to be honest, at that point, it's going to be Briggs out and then probably Eddie Ford at that point as well. And then Chincotta maybe to a rookie that pops up at some point over the next few weeks as well. So I think I'll get there. It's just, do I want to get rid of Weddle now, or do I just move on Chincotta, who I think probably doesn't make too much more in the next couple of weeks anyway for me. So something to think about. Probably largely depends on what rookies pop up this week. If there's a really good debutant, then I might go their way. But more than likely, I'll probably go Malikan, who, as I said, gets the Saints, which is a really good matchup as well. So, that's how my team's looking. Obviously, tune into the podcast tonight. Could be up by now by the time you're watching this. For some more in-depth conversation just about general players, thoughts, rookies, and strategy, all that sort of stuff. But that's how I'm looking for this week. So obviously round 13, it's going to be pretty, not simple, but easy enough week, just since it's only Gold Coast and Geelong with the bye. So most people should be looking all right. I'm only obviously missing Stewart and sort of Humphrey as anyone of any note. So real decision is just Briggs or Marshall, I guess. So that's how I'm looking. 8 trades left, 2 premiums to get, and a lot of money really. So Briggs should get quite comfortably to 450, Humphrey over 400. We've got MJ hopefully pushing towards 300, and then Eddie Ford if we do need him in the end as well. And I'll be looking squarely at Clary to get him in, and then last midfielder of some sort who still could be a Neil. Track I'd love, but he's getting really, really pricey. Someone like that. So that's team. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers. Got the mojo deals, we been tripping like the 80s. Pulling out the coupe at the lot.